I'm delighted to welcome today Tracey Walton from Essential Oils for Life. I think is it Essential Oils for Life?
Essential Oils Life, yeah.
Essential Oils Life, that's it. Apologies. And you are a certified Doterra essential oil advocate.
Yes, indeed.
Cool. So thank you for taking time today. And I'd like to ask you about the therapeutic side of the oils, because not everybody appreciates the difference between one oil from another and the quality. And whilst it's lovely to pop oils in a diffuser and think everything's wonderful, it's not quite that simple, is it? So
absolutely.
First of all, Tracey, before we launch into talking about oils, tell us about yourself. So where do you live? What have you done in life? What are your key things that you've been really happy with? Tell us about Tracey Walton.
So I am of that age where I'm just going through menopause. That's been a big thing for me. So that gives you an idea of how old I am, although I'm not going to reveal that secret entirely. And I'm from Northamptonshire. So I've lived here about 30 years or so. Really love the area. It's so beautiful, brilliant to be. I'm near the countryside. We're so lucky that I've got beautiful lakes that I can walk near every day. And I know so many people are stuck inside like cities and flats, and it's so nice to have that open space here. Have a family. In fact, my boy is about to turn 18 tomorrow, so I can't believe that. But yeah, my main background really has been marketing, and probably about 18 months ago now, I was really finding difficulties and wanted to find something a little bit more natural, and ways to support me in those times when we couldn't get to pharmacies and doctors and things very easily. I really felt I needed some help that I could do myself, which brought me to the oils. So yeah, that's really kind of how I got into them.
So you're using them yourself for menopausal symptoms, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, back in 2020, when everything was all kicking off, my initial thing really, I wasn't thinking about those symptoms that I was having. It was about emotions and how I was feeling. And I think a lot of people can relate to the fact that we were suddenly all much more anxious, and we were separated from our friends, so we didn't have that support network. And I found I was struggling a little bit, to be honest. And a friend of mine had got the essential oils, so I tried some of those and just wowed at how much that helped me. And then I started looking at all the other things that were going on in my life, like not being able to sleep, and that's a menopause thing, definitely. I know a lot of women have that issue.
Okay, so you mentioned about anxiety and the emotional state of people. So how can the oils help in that regard, and what type of oils, what flavors should we say should I don't know what you call them. What do you call them? It's not flavors.
Aromas. Aromas, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so which ones would you recommend for menopause?
For menopause or for anxiety?
Both.
Okay. So really for like the anxious feelings, obviously, if you're feeling that you have an occasional low mood and you need a boost, and you need a kind of those times when you want to manage your emotions, the really lovely calming effects of oils like lavender, and also we have the Serenity blend. There's cedarwood as well. Any of the really I call them deep oils, because they just have that lovely comforting kind of aroma about them. Certainly Serenity do the dedicated blends as well, called Serenity. That is a beautiful one to have. It's got a combination of oils that are good for supporting with keeping calm and helping to relax and unwind. So yeah, definitely look for those kind of oils.
And can you put them in a diffuser and have the aromas around the house as well as ingesting them? Can you ingest all of them?
It does depend on the oil. Not all oils you can ingest, but the Doterra is very clear about the ones that you can. No other oil other than Doterra should be ingested. These have been tested so that you can do that. But the main ways that you want to use them are either, say, topically or aromatically. So aromatically, you can pop them in a diffuser, as you said, which is just a lovely way to dispense them throughout a room or your home. Lots of people like to zone their home. So maybe if you've got a child upstairs in bed, you might want to have something that's calming and relaxing for them. If you're trying to do some work downstairs in the study and you need a bit of energy, you might want to put something like wild orange in your diffuser so that you can actually zone your rooms according to what's going on at the time. It's also a really great way to share the oils with others in your home. So if you've got teenagers who perhaps aren't that keen on applying the oils or using them themselves, you can actually put them into your atmosphere to just create a calmer atmosphere. So that's a really lovely way to do it. And then obviously the other way is topically. So that's applying it direct to the skin. Again, you want to use a carrier oil or a natural moisturizer if you don't have a carrier oil, so that you can apply that to the skin, and it kind of helps with any potential sensitivity. But also it's really good to put it with a carrier oil because it keeps it onto the skin for longer. It actually helps it to be absorbed into the skin more easily. So you actually get a better effect. So it's not diluting it as such, it's actually just helping you to apply it to a wider area and to be absorbed into the skin.
Is it harmful if you put the oils directly onto the skin?
Most of the Doterra oils, you're okay to put them directly onto the skin, providing you're not getting any sensitivity. Some of the ones that you want to watch really are the citrus oils. This is because they are photosensitive. So you don't really want to put them on any area of skin that is then going to be exposed to the sun, because that then makes your skin, or potentially makes your skin more sensitive.
Right, so, okay. That's good advice. So sleep, anxiety, emotions and so on. And what's so different about the Doterra oils? We spoke briefly about the quality, but how tell us about the quality and why is it important?
Well, you'll probably know that you can get oils from pretty much anywhere. You can get them off the high street, you can get them off the internet. They can seem really cheap. You can get them very, very cheaply indeed. But what you have to bear in mind is what's actually in that bottle. Now, there are no regulations as to the minimum amount of oil that needs to be in a bottle. So there could be as little as 4% of essential oil in that bottle, and you've got no idea what else is in there. It can be extra chemicals, it can be just lots of carrier oil, so it's really, really diluting the effect of it. It can be other oils that it claims to be that oil, but because it smells like it, they've used a cheaper one, they substitute something else. There can be ones that aren't dangerous, and there can be additions that are dangerous. The point is, you don't know what's in that bottle. And as soon as you put that into a diffuser, you're breathing in, you put it onto your skin, it's being absorbed into your body, and absolutely no way should you be ingesting any oil that isn't Doterra.
Which are the oils that are digestible, ingestible?
Off the top of my head, there's a few like tea tree, deep blue, wintergreen. Generally with Doterra, the ones we supply with an extra safety cap. I don't know if I've got one here. They just look, the caps are slightly different, which suggests that you shouldn't be ingesting those. But there is documentation or a PDF fact sheet with every oil, so you can be absolutely clear on which ones you shouldn't be ingesting.
Okay, so tea tree, deep blue, and and whatever the other one, wintergreen. They're not for ingesting.
No.
Yeah. They're more for, from my understanding, more for kind of muscle oil relief, pain relief type things.
Wintergreen and deep blue are for pain relief. Tea tree is really good as a natural disinfectant, antibiotic, antifungal. So whenever I get a cut or anything or on my skin, or a little scratch, then I'm always putting the tea tree on there, and actually some oregano as well with it.
Yeah, very good. Oregano is one that is ingestible, and I sometimes add to salad dressings and things because it's so potent. You only need 1 drop, don't you? And it's really quite strong.
The thing we always say, if you're doing it with cooking, is the toothpick test. So generally, from the bottle, you just take a drop out onto a dish and then get a toothpick, just dip the toothpick into the oil, then swirl it into your cooking, taste it, and then see, and then if you want some more, do it again, because once you've put that whole drop in, you can't get it out, and it can be really, really strong. So then you can manage the amount. You need so little with the Doterra.
Absolutely. So the bottles, even though they're small, they last forever. I've got some that I've been carrying around for a long time, and they do last, don't they? It's not like they're going to go off.
No, they don't go off. The only ones that kind of have a time limit really are the citrus ones, but even those last for like 5 years. So
excellent.
Yeah, but the other ones last for ages and ages.
Some of the listeners will know that I had stage 4 cancer in 2015, and part of my I beat it in 14 weeks, and it's part of my story of wellness, and that's why I'm passionate about helping other people and so on. Because I know how to get out of trouble. I know how not to get into trouble now, and what you do to get out of it. And the Doterra oils were part of my wellness strategy for recovery, and particularly frankincense. Yes. So I was ingesting frankincense. I can't remember how many drops, but I was necking it, and and I kept it up for about 18 months. Still, just taking it sounds quite gross, really, but I was just taking it straight from the bottle, because that's not to be advisable, listeners, if you're listening to this. But I was really hardcore, and I was determined.
Drop under your tongue.
Yeah, that's right. So under the tongue is the best place to put anything that you're taking in the body, because below the tongue you've got receptors that get whatever you're putting there straight into the tissue. So it's very effective. So yes, that's how I know that frankincense is both good for cancer, but also general health and wellness, and that it's ingestible.
Frankincense is like one of the oils that we call a power oil. Basically, as you know, it's really effective at helping with tissue and cells, and can get into cells. But also it's one that if you mix it with any other oil, it somehow has the ability to give that other oil extra power as well. So it's a great one for mixing. So yeah, so that one, and carbaiba as well, kind of power oils we like to say.
I didn't know that about the mixing. I've always taken it neat, but that's a good tip. Thank you.
Carbaiba,
what's that one?
Carbaiba is another one that it's obviously from the tree, so it's very, very woody. That's a really good one for pain as well. It's a nice pain one. The good thing with the oils is that they have a variety of different uses. So if you find one oil that you're not getting on with, or it's not giving you the benefit that you were expecting, or you just don't really like the aroma of it, there is another one that you can try. The same as if you went to the pharmacist and you tried something for a wellness issue and it didn't work first time. You don't just kind of go, oh well, that's all rubbish then, or anything that I buy from that shop is going to be rubbish. You go back and you go, well, that actually didn't quite work for me, and they'll come back with something else that you might be able to try. And although as advocates we don't diagnose or treat anything, there are options that we can give you to try if something didn't work as you were expecting or needed it to.
And the range is huge, isn't it? It's not just 1 or 2 oils. Do you know off the top of your head how many oils there are?
I believe there's about 3,000.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness. I didn't realize it was that
Yeah.
much. Goodness me.
Wow. Yeah, there are definitely. So when people say to me, what does this oil do? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know 3,000 oils. So we have our go-to reference guides that we can use, so that we can refer back to them. And obviously we have our team of advocates who've had personal experiences, and so there's always someone that we can ask, and anyone that's a customer with me gets access to all the reference material. And we also provide a free app called Droply. It's free to our customers. We buy it for them, so that they've always got that on hand if they want to check something. So they're not always having to rely on us all the time to be around. If you want to know something, you want to know it now, not when I can call you back in 2 hours time or something. So that's a really lovely thing that our team gift to our customers. One thing I really would like to share about the Doterra, we were talking about how they were different, is a lot of people will say, well, yes, I've got lavender, and it's the same. It truly isn't, because 98% of our contracts that we have for oils are with the farmer direct. So no other company is getting exactly the same plants and the same oil as we get. We also don't go through the third agency. So a lot of these companies, they will use a third party who will gather in the oils or the plants and make the oils, and then they'll go out to that third party. We manage the whole process from start to finish. And the lovely thing that I really like about the Doterra is that obviously a farmer would take 12 months maybe to grow a crop for oils. If at the end of that time, the crop isn't sufficiently of good enough quality for us to use for oils, the Doterra won't use them, obviously, but they still pay the farmer. And I just think that is incredible.
It's very ethical, and it's nice to hear of an ethical company, because they're few and far between these days, sadly.
The other thing with the Doterra as well is that, as I've mentioned, that there's no legal requirement for the amount of oil, but also there's no regulation. There was no testing for purity and quality. So what Doterra did was they made their own tests, and we have an independent company now that tests all the oils. And on the bottom of every bottle, I don't know if you can see there. Can you see that? There's a number.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So you can go to a website called Source to You. You can type in that number and it will tell you all the testing it's been through, where it's come from. You can trace the oil to where it's come from.
Wow,
and the testing it's underdone.
That's very good indeed. Thank you. So how do people get hold of you, Tracey?
Okay, so I've got a Facebook page, which they're very welcome to hop along to. That's Tracey Oils Life. Or they can email me at tracy@oilslife@gmail.com.
Cool.
Or do you have a chat or something, and I can put some details underneath where you're sharing?
When you booked in for the call, you would have put all that information in. So my PA Jess will pick all that information up and we'll post it underneath the video when it comes out, the recording, etc. So fabulous. Is there any tips maybe for a beginner, somebody who's maybe not experienced oils at all before? Where do they start?
I think there's a couple of things that they can do. Firstly, I would recommend reaching out to me to have a couple of sample oils. They can let me know what their particular wellness issue is, and I will happily send them a couple of mini bottles so that they can try them out for themselves. And then I would highly recommend coming on one of our free classes. Now, it's not a big pitch thing. It's so interesting about how the oils work, why they work, more in depth about how they get into the body and the benefits they can give. And what it goes through is the top 10 essential oils that can deal with 80% of most common wellness issues. So it's a really good class to come on board with. I thoroughly enjoyed it the first time I did it. I was really wowed by it. You get a chance to ask questions if you want to, or you can sit with your screen off and just listen. It's really non-intrusive, and they'd be very, very welcome to come. And I think they'd get a lot out of it.
Brilliant. Remind us of those contact details again, Tracey.
Okay, so it's Tracey essentialoilslife@gmail.com, or they can come onto my Facebook page, which is Tracey Oils Life.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed for your time today. It's very interesting.
Oh, I hope I've helped a little bit. I can talk about essential oils for like hours. So, so thank you. I really hope they've found it of benefit.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tracey.
Thanks, Elaine.